Hi, my name is Pedro Castro. Today we're going to talk about why and the proper way to do chain tension on your ICS Powercutter. For the purpose of this video, we have our 695 gasoline Powercutter. It is very important to understand why we need the proper chain tension to ensure a great operator experience. There are two things that you gotta pay attention when you use your ICS Powercutter, regardless of which power cutter you're using, gasoline, hydraulic, or pneumatic. The number one, and in this case that's what we're talking about today, is the proper chain tension. The chain tension on all of the ICS saws should be the same. You want to make sure that you have about a 1/4 inch hanging the chain from the bar and that you can move it freely. It is important to understand that on an ICS power cutter, you should not do your chain tension like a wood cutting chainsaw because you are cutting different material. You need to have your chain hanging about a 1/4 inch below the bar and you can move it freely because you are cutting either pipe or concrete. Therefore, you need to give a little bit more room for your chain to properly turn around your saw. On an ICS saw, when you have your chain hanging about a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch below the bar, it is time to do chain tensioning. Why? Because if you don't do chain tension at that point, you run the risk of actually ripping the drive links of your chain and not engaging properly on your bar, and at that point you have damaged your chain. It is important to do the proper chain tension on your saw. In this case, the chain, you can see that the chain is too tight for your ICS power cutter. This would work fine on a wood cutting chainsaw. But if you were to use your chain too tight on an ICS power cutter, you're going to cause premature wear on your drive sprocket, and the drive sprocket tooth are going to look a little bit like a triangle, and instead of wearing down like they probably should, and you're actually going to cause premature wear on your nose sprocket as well. How do you know you've been using your chain too tight? You will see that on your nose sprocket, and instead of the dry teeth on your nose sprocket looking nice and round, they're going to look a little bit on a triangle shape, and you'll be able to tell that you've been using your chain too tight. When your chain is hanging about 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch from below the bar, it is time to tension your chain. This should be a very easy operation. It should only take you no more than 30 seconds. To properly do chain tension on your ICS power cutter, you loosen up the side cover nut. You hold the nose up. You look for your chain tension screw, which is right here, typically on the side of the saw. In this case, for the 695 power cutter, it'll be on the right hand side, and for your hydraulic and pneumatic saw is going to be on the inside, on the left side of the side cover. You hold the nose up. You bring the chain to about a 1/4 inch hanging below the bar, and you want to make sure that you can freely move it forward. And holding the nose up, you tighten the side cover to where it's a nice hand tight, secure, but it's a hand tight because that's what holds the bar in place, and you can freely move it forward. You have the proper chain tension at that point and you're ready to go.